All right, a pleasant good morning to you coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to Night Moves here for Friday, March 13th. Uh-oh, maybe we should cancel the show. It's Friday, March 13th. Hopefully our luck goes the right way here with our sports betting on Friday. We've got some great action on Friday, some great action on Thursday as well. Conference tournaments continuing. We're going to have previews today of late semifinals as our featured coverage of college basketball here on Night Moves. Thank you for joining me here on the show. Also going to preview a good NBA card and 2 games on the ice, because one day we have 14 games and the next day we have 2 games, and one day I get sleep and then the next day I don't. But that's okay, because we're going to have some great games to talk about here in college basketball, and with some great efforts here on Thursday. We had some controversy as well, so might as well get into some of the news and views from the action on Thursday. Starting with, I would think, maybe we talk about the Miami, Ohio Red Hawks here with their loss 87-83 against UMass. You know, it seemed like they were doing fine there for a while with the lead. You never thought UMass was never out of it, but Miami did lead by double digits with 8.5 left. You think they could have got home, but they couldn't rebound the ball and they couldn't come up clutch. Again, you know, the one thing about Miami we said here, and I talked about it on the show, right, is all their close games and their overtime games. So it was going to be due here. It didn't get any favors playing the early game. I mean, how does that happen? I mean, you got your marquee team out there and you're putting them at the early game. I mean, first of all, you're not doing them any favors. And like I said, another thing with the MAC, I mean, we left some of the teams at home, so we just go right into the quarterfinals here. And, you know, you see what some of the other conferences do. You know, they could lose, but a couple conferences put their guys into the semifinals. Look at the West Coast Conference with Gonzaga and St. Mary's. Hey, we'll put you right in the semifinals. You win one game, you're in the finals, that's it. Not in the MAC, not in the old MAC, return of the MAC, MACtion. Here. So they get beat. It felt like the bubble was going to burst there sometime. Now we await Selection Sunday, right? You know how they always have those cameras on campus and the kids are gathered around. And sometimes it's like, this team's it. What are we doing here? You know, and hey, the cameras are a dime a dozen now. When they first started doing the show, you could only had about 4 or 5 teams. You had to send a whole, van out there, remote equipment, and just to get them on the air, right? But now anybody can be on the air. But sometimes we overdo it. But that team needs a camera on them the whole show, probably, at least when those seeds come up. Now look, they probably can get into the the game that I always complain about is the one where maybe this is it though. Maybe this is the area where this is, because sometimes I don't want to see the major conference teams in that Tuesday window, when you have that 11-11 game or whatever it is, right? I agree when you take those bottom rung teams, put them against one another and they can play in. But then when you've got the what they are the last 4 in there with the what am I trying to get at with the major schools, right? So you'll have a game, you'll have the MEAC team and the SWAC team and the Southland, whatever, the NEC team, And then you'll have the other game that night will be like a mediocre conference team. So it'll, end up being something in the, like I don't want to say Kansas State. They were terrible this year, but you know what I mean? And you'll have those two. Now here you can have a team like Miami of Ohio go up against somebody with maybe the right to get in. So this is what we're going to see. It's not going to be a problem here soon. We're going to go to 72 teams. Because just like moving first base 5 feet closer to home, that eliminated all the close plays. So maybe that'll work. You can put them in that little game. Everybody wants to see them in there. Like I said, they turned me off big time when they were all cocky. They got, what they got their just due. Remember how cocky they were when they beat Ohio, flipped off the fans, and got into a spat. Well, you know what? You got what you came for with the victory there, and you know what'll happen, of course, with Massachusetts. They'll probably go down in the next game, but Miami of Ohio loses after 31 straight victories, and they're going to just have to wait now and see when it comes to the tournament committee. I think the tournament committee. We can sit there all day. We were on the drive-through today, and Joey Tron on there. He's right. If you look at the metrics, but you know what? I don't think the committee. We always say they don't know what they're doing, so they'll put them in. So they should put them in, right? Because they don't know what they're doing. They're not gonna. You could take all those mediocre teams in the SEC and the Big 12, in the Big 10. And, put them up there against Miami of Ohio, and they'll just dust them with their resume. They didn't have any of the, quad wins that you need to get in there. Why don't we just eliminate those? Tell the teams, hey, we've looked at your schedule, and if you don't go undefeated or win your conference tournament, you're not going to go in. Why play the season? We should be playing probably here 2 different championships. Maybe there should be a Division I and a Division 1A. Is what it is, because we know where the money's going anyways. But I don't know, college basketball. Look, we saw years in there where Butler was getting in, right? We had my Aztecs were in there, Florida Atlantic. Some basketballs. That's the great equalizer in basketball. You can get a team together and kind of get on a run. I mean, half these teams only play 6 or 7 guys anyways. But Miami of Ohio loses there in the Mid-American Conference game. No one to blame but themselves. Probably got out-coached as well. So after that 31-0 regular season, they'll have to sit and wait, and we'll watch and wait with them on Selection Sunday and see if they put the cameras on them. And you see the team celebrating, and I'm sure they will. But man, they'll be on pins and needles waiting that one. And it's probably one of the, yeah, you like the tournament for some ratings. Yeah, you like that show for some ratings too. We're going to tune in, and the thing that everyone's going to be waiting for, unless it's their own individual team, is will Miami of Ohio get into the tournament? All right, and there were some other great games and great action as we move to the conference tournaments. We're moving into the semifinals and quarterfinals, and a lot of conferences here. No bids determined tomorrow, but there were some great action there today. I started off here with the Big 12 with Kansas winning over TCU 78-73. Kansas 30-37 from the foul line. That'll help when you're in Kansas City. TCU was just 14 for 18. You can see where that one is going, huh? And we did have, though, TCU here plus the points on night move. So, hey, joke's on me. We won that game there yesterday. That's the one I think Joey had, too, on the show, was TCU. And they got it done. Horned Frogs led by 4. Kansas came back to get it. Elmarco Jackson was 10 for 10 from the foul line. He was 1 of 3 with his field goal attempt. So just put him on the line. You're Kansas. You're going to get all the calls at home. Houston over BYU. We had another winner here on Night Moves last night with that one, as we had the under in that one. Houston won it 73-66. BYU led by 7 late in the first half. But Houston won its 4th straight game, and they're averaging almost 85 points in those games right now. And they were missing shots left and right inside, but they were able to hang in there anyway, and BYU actually got the money in that game. Houston got the win. And a little bit of news, the other games too, you know, I had Arizona, they rocked over Central Florida there yesterday, and Texas Tech did crush over Iowa State. The Big 12 did say that they will switch from that fancy LED floor. Have you noticed it there in the Big 12? I'm sure you have. When they make a three-pointer, the line lights up. It's like you're playing, what was that old game, NBA Jam? The guy would catch fire, and maybe that's what they need. I love it, but apparently it doesn't play very well. I'm old school, but I love that floor. I think they should do more. They should be coming down the floor with checkerboards all over or something like that. Get crazy with it if they're going to do it so extreme. And, you know, they've used that court in other places. I don't know what the problem here is, but there's something to a little bit of the hardwood. Maybe when you fall down too. I mean, it's a glass floor, basically. So they're going to switch the court here for the final games of the Big 12 conference tournament. They're going to do a regular hardwood floor, and boo on them. I mean, come on. You could be committed. But I get it. I like to see the three-point line light up, or the ads come on the screen in the middle of the game. That's what they should do. I wonder if you could see it. You're like dribbling, and the floor is changing on you, right? They should have little arrows where you should run. So some teams complain that the court was slippery, so the league will use the other court there now. All right. ACC tournament. Clemson just won over North Carolina here in the last game of the night, in a little bit dicey situation there at the end of the game. It got real close, actually, there at the finish in that one, as Clemson won it. Clemson led by 18 with 11 and a half minutes left in the game, and here comes North Carolina. They came back, and Clemson got the win there. Mostly a pick 'em, I think, for most in that one. So first time since 2008, the Tigers have won 2 games in the ACC tourney, and the first time since 2014 that the Tar Heels are one and done at the ACC tournament. Duke held on to beat Florida State. First, they were down big. Then they came back. FSU had the ball at the end of the game with a chance to win, but missed their shot. Duke dominated on the boards. They only played 6 guys really in the game there. They're Duke. So, you know, you pay these guys the money to come in. You don't need any backups, I guess. They'll wait their turn. Why not go to another school and try to lead them to the finals? So Duke there, they were 18-point favorites. They won by 1. Florida State got the money there in that one. Miami over Louisville. It was 78-73. The Hurricanes are 8-2 now in their last 10. The Cardinals ended up splitting their final 8 games here. They started 19-6, but faded a little bit in that one. Ended up going just under, I believe, there yesterday, as the line move was clearly on the under, but it did stay under there in that one there. And also, there was one more game. It was Virginia there in their matchup with North Carolina State. So we got the semifinals set there. Virginia got the win. They advance to take on Miami. All right. Big East, and Coach gets the win, 85-72. Providence loses to St. John. So the Johnnies, they never trailed in that one. They really kind of dominated, actually. Red Storm, just that one standout loss. They've won 17 of 18 coming in right now. So St. John's takes care of Providence. I know I had Providence here on night moves. Was getting 11.5 there. Did not get it done. It went up to 12, but they lost by 13 in that one. Seton Hall with the win over Creighton. They'll move on to the semifinals. We're going to preview semifinal games here tonight on Night Moves. Seton Hall will take on St. John's. Georgetown. Why would you ever doubt Easy Ed Cooley right now? And here comes Easy Ed, takes care of Villanova, made it look easy almost there with the win there for Easy Ed, 78-64 is a 7-point dog. They got out-coached in Villanova is what it was. And Georgetown, great offense in the game. They win it. It snuck over there yesterday. But, man, how about Georgetown? They're into the semifinals. Watch out, Connecticut. Connecticut's a big favorite. We'll preview it here in just a few minutes. The Big East tournament there. But we'll see what the coach can do too in his game against its good Seton Hall team that's played pretty well. SEC, Tennessee over Auburn. We know Ron's Tigers there. Auburn led by 10 with 11:20 to go in the game, but Tennessee went on a 33-13 run, and Auburn will not be happy on Sunday when they get left. I'm pretty sure they might be the team that I don't know how it's going to work out. I guess they wouldn't be the team there to get substituted out for. Miami of Ohio, but the storyline fits. You've got Bruce Pearl yelling from the stands over there, complaining about the committee or not. It was in the game, but I'm sure it'll all work out. And what it'll be is Miami of Ohio gets in instead of Auburn. That's what's going to happen there. I'm sure of it. SEC tournament as well. Other games in the SEC we did see here. We know we got our semifinals set here. I'm sorry, the quarterfinals set. SEC, of course, they'll still have quarterfinals here. They play their final on Sunday, but Oklahoma over Texas A&M. They'll take on Arkansas. Also, Missouri advances there. Ole Miss with the upset. Ole Miss beat Georgia. They'll play Alabama there. Tennessee gets their shot against Vandy. They advance, and UK advances to take on Florida. Quarterfinal games here on Friday. Those are the winners in the SEC tournament there. Mountain West here, out west here in Las Vegas. Utah State beat UNLV 80-60. So UNLV beats the number one seed Aggies twice during the regular season, but they lost this time as Utah State just kept forcing turnover after turnover there in that one. So they will advance to take on Nevada. Nevada over GCU. GCU is the favorite. Nevada got the win there. And also New Mexico takes on San Diego State. That's the one we'll preview. San Diego State. Hey, look, I said I had Colorado State to win the tournament. San Diego State came in and got it done, and now they'll face New Mexico. And New Mexico's got a couple of players from San Diego who lead that team, so that's going to be a good game. Also, did have some other winners here on Night Moves last night. We'll kind of talk about them here maybe as we go along, too, with some of the teams that were advancing here. But great night of college basketball. How did your winners go there? We had, like I said, TCU there, but we also had other Night Moves winners here yesterday in the NBA. Take a look at some of these winners with Phoenix on the road. We had the Suns over the Pacers there yesterday on Night Moves. We had Detroit to rock over Philadelphia there yesterday. They got it done. Philadelphia with a 22-point victory here. We also had the Miami Heat over Milwaukee here on Night Moves. They got there, laying the 5-6. They won by 7. We also had here winner on Night Moves last night with the Boston Celtics getting the points against Oklahoma City. But a great game and a good defensive game, 104-102 there yesterday. We kind of hinted about, it should be a lower scoring game in that one. So we were able to get one home there. And we got home the Lakers there last night. So I think we stayed pretty hot here in the NBA on Night Moves there. That was a 5-3 day. 9 games. We skipped one of them. So NHL, we had some winners here on Night Moves finally. Here, at least a couple anyway. How are you going to not with 14 games on the schedule here? But we had the Blues against Carolina for a winner here on Night Moves yesterday. St. Louis got the win 3-1. Ducks kind of blew it though after having a 3-1 lead, but they gave up a ton of goals. Matthews left the game for Toronto. Got to update his status here certainly. Also, winner Red Wings and Lightning to go under. Lightning won it 4-1, taking care of the Red Wings. Winner here on Night Moves last night with the Florida Panthers. We took them against Columbus. It was hard to do it, but I did it, and they won in overtime there yesterday. Also, Night Moves winner here, Dallas Stars crushed Edmonton again. It's looking bad for Edmonton. Just these random, yes, they had some great games, but then all of a sudden you pop up, give up another 7 goals. That's not going to be sustainable. So we had Dallas there yesterday. We also had a winner, Philadelphia and Minnesota game to go under 3-2 in overtimes. We had the under there. We also had the Blackhawks on the puck line. They got it done. They won over Utah yesterday. Blackhawks got the win. Also, puck line winner, Colorado Avalanche crushed the Kraken and we had that one here. So we got back on track a little bit there with the NHL. How did you folks do? Let me say hello to the folks in the chat. I've got more to talk about here, if you don't mind, before we get to the previews. But I want to say hello to all my friends here, including Tim showing up early for me, waiting for me here. Thank you so much. We'll talk a little World Baseball Classic tonight with our two games here at the World Baseball Classic, including the United States in action tonight. Can you imagine here what kind of fun we're going to have tonight with some great college basketball, and the World Baseball Classic gets underway with Korea and Dominican Republic, followed by United States and Canada, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. They're playing in Miami. They're playing in Houston. 2 games tonight. Of course, party time in Dominican Republic North there in Miami, and taking on Korea, and then USA against Canada there. All right, Timmy's here as well. Let's see who else is joining me in the chat. Ron Jeff, it was funny. I had a lot of games on, and I had the NBA game on, and I didn't lose track of it or anything, but the first thing that came up, ESPN sent the notice out that said SGA beats Wilt Chamberlain's record. I'm like, I told you there's a lot of points. He just scored 100. But he was, of course, setting the record for the most 20-point games, consecutive 20-point games in NBA history. But like I said, watch out. Kawhi with the 45 last night. I'm just saying that, I'm not saying anybody's going to get 85 here, but I'm going to say someone will get, I want to say 70 before the season's over. Someone might go for 70. Do you remember the great David Thompson getting 70 for Denver? Maybe 65. Just come back to me, though, and in the chat say, and maybe you guys agree with me. But again, I think because of the way this whole situation with the real tankathon and, an interesting video came out, though. Give Bam Adebayo credit. You saw him. They didn't. I just saw it today, so I don't know if it was out earlier. But he was backing up to play some defense. He said, "Don't foul, don't foul." He wasn't looking to make a mockery of it. I'm going to give Bam a pass for a little bit. I'm going to give him half a pass. I'll give him enough pass that everybody who's talking bad about him should probably at least tone it down a little bit. He clearly was saying, do not foul, and they kept doing it for him. And that's what you do for a great teammate too. Don't slight Bam, okay? But interesting there. Last night, if you didn't see that video, Bam definitely was saying that was in the last, with 2:43 left, or I think 2:43. Power Critter is here. Richie Rich is here to go. What's up, my man? He says there. I was having an up and down day. Here's Alex Morales. I started hot over at Tony's, couldn't quite get it going. Let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com and take a look at the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot. Great to see you there, Alex, today. We did have some better wins today in hockey. Remember the other day, I'm like, hey, let's go over the winners. There was 10 games. I'm like, is there really just 2 winners here? But look, we're hot in the NBA, obviously, here. And not to mention some of the kind of left off some of those great conference games there, too, yesterday. Didn't even talk about action in the Big Ten there a little bit. I want to. Also, NFL, Kyler Murray, he felt welcome there when he showed up in Minnesota as a signing there. But real quick, I do want to talk about a little bit, Big Ten action. Wisconsin held off Washington 85-82. Junior Blackwell, 34 points and 10 rebounds. Washington, you talk about the way the conferences, Tony, we were kidding about it today, the West Coast teams and the movement of, from all the way from the West Coast Conference to the Western Athletic Conference to the new Pac-12. Washington, they're not having too much fun in the Big Ten. They're 11-30 in their conference games over the 2 seasons here, so it's not going too good for Washington there. Did see Purdue Oh man, who had them? Who had Purdue? Who got the right number? Because it landed 13, I think, and the game ended 13, even though Purdue had built a 20-point lead there in that one. Washington actually got the money against Wisconsin in that one. UCLA in their game there against Rutgers there last night, and the Bruins had no problem in covering 72-59 there, and Ohio State did beat Iowa. They held on there a little bit in that one. Atlantic 10, Bonaventure, big time comeback. They beat me over at Tony'sPicks.com. That's where I'll maybe go over right now to Tony's Picks and lament that loss because I had George Mason. But let's go ahead and see who did well over at Tony'sPicks.com, where you can pick up our premium picks. Absolutely our best picks every day over at Tony's Picks, including mine here on Friday. Let's go over and take a look at those handicapper leaderboards and see who is hot. And you see some great names here tonight. And let's see who it is. It's Rod on top here with a 5-2 mark on. Oh, there we go. 5-2 mark here on Thursday. Ron Crawford, there he was. You saw him on the drive-through yesterday. Brought it home there. 7-3. Al Ninos, 3 games here now. Goes 2-0. Of course he does. A great job there by Al. And Stax McKelvey 2-0, Ron Hahn 2-0, David Racy 3-2, Mills Young 1-0 there, DeAndre 1-0 yesterday, Alessandro there 2-1, Jonathan Solo Malone 2-1, Double Shooty 4-3, Bo Dunn 3-2, Nick Lagarettos goes 5-4. Take a look also last 7 days, and Stax McKelvey on top of the handicapper leaderboards up over 14 units. Brian Bittler 7.5 units. Shane Mickle up nearly 7 units. Solo Malone over 5 units of profit. Mills Young 3.5 units. Tony T up over 2.5 units. Joey Tron, great performance there. I said to Tony, I said, when Tony asked Joey Tron, he said, hey, Joey, what do you think of Miami's chances of making the tournament if they lose? I don't even think he was referring to tonight's game. I think he was just saying if they lose before getting, instead of winning the tournament. And very matter-of-factly, Joey said, not a chance. They have a 305 strength of schedule. If you match it up against the other teams, they have no quad 1 wins there, and that just doesn't match up. And I said to Tony, I said, Joey was so confident and made me believe so much that I think that he might actually have the committee over at his house talking about them not making the tournament. Ron Hahn 10-8, KT up there, Kevin Thomas, Alessandro, and the others in the green over at Tony's Picks last 30 days. Stephen Duncan up 11.5 units. Mills Young also 11.5 units profit this month. Shane Mickle up 7.5 units. Brian Bittler 5.5 units. Tony T up there with nearly 3.5 units of profit. Alessandro and Al Ninos. Click on the All Cappers tab, find the handicapper of your choice, click on their handicapper profile page and get signed up. I was on the top there for a few days last week. Now I'm on the bottom. Couldn't find the winner there in my games here today. 4 picks only for me, and lost here with St. Louis and Carolina game over. That was a loser. I did win there with the Ducks and the Leafs game over there for my pick there at Tony's, and also Texas Southern lost in overtime against Alabama A&M. I was pretty cocky about that one, right? Texas Southern had beaten Alabama A&M 25 straight times and lost in overtime in that one. That was my premium pick. I didn't need to handicap that one. 25 straight wins, and they lost for the first time. And then Bowling Green and Toledo went over there by a half a point. What can you do? I didn't have it. So, all right, go over to Tony'sPicks.com, though, and check me out. Hook up with me this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's get the 3-day all sports pass. I mean, you can't miss any closer than I did. So I'm your man here on Night Moves. Check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. If you get the 3-pack, the 5-pack, the 7-packs over there, use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15% off all premium pick packages, including mine here on Friday, but these packages right here, like this 3-day all sports pass, is already heavily discounted. So you get your money's worth here. These are my high profile boutique bets here right now, the most confident bets that I have on all the internet. So check them out over at tonyspicks.com. Thanks for listening. All right, man, let me keep going here, though. I want to say hello to everyone. Make sure I get everyone in here today before we get started with the previews. I don't think it'll be a long show. Real Madrid Doge is here. Heck yeah. Hello, Doge, man. Good to see you. Hope you've been doing fine. And here, Gazo here as well. Gazo, hello. Man, I got to look at Gazo's avatar there and see what's going on. Mescalero Apache, is that a sports team there, or is that just a cultural symbol? Okay, let's see here. Mr. Wesker's made it today, and Real Madrid Doge is going to go see the game there with the Knights. Andre talking about Tatis. Tatis said today he wants the fans at Petco Park to start bringing noisemakers. I don't think they allow those at Major League games, though, actually. But I like that thought. All right, and Mr. Wester's talking Florida basketball here. Zatarath is here. What about the Timberwolves today? We'll preview the games here in the NBA. That's what we're going to do. We're going to preview all 8 games. All right, Andre here. He had Texas. We lost that one, Mr. Wet. We lost. If you lost, you're a loser, right? That's like what the president says, right? Remember when he told he likes people who win. All right. A few more notes real quick. I just want to talk about action, though, in the tennis tonight. I did not have a tennis premium, but there were some great matches here and some upsets here as well tonight on the men's side and the women's side. Iga is out. She lost to Svitolina. Rybakina over Pegula. Noskova over Gibson. And Sabalenka against Mboko. She did win, but Mboko covered the game spread. Mboko continues to improve. Men's side, Alcaraz is straight sets over Norrie. Medvedev won as well over Draper. He really crushed him. Zverev rocked Fees as well, and Sinner. It was actually lopsided matches on the men's side. So they'll get going again here with some great matches on Saturday. No action on Friday here. They'll play on Saturday at the semifinals there with Alcaraz and Medvedev, Zverev and Sinner. On the ladies' side, Sabalenka and Noskova, surprise semifinalist here, and Rybakina and Svitolina. TPC first round, Mav McNeely, Sepp Straka, Saif Zagala, part of a 5-way tie there. Justin Thomas in second, Xander Schauffele, part of a 7-way tie. Morikawa had to quit after one hole. One of the chalky players this week, Morikawa, was out. And Scheffler, I mean, he didn't have a good round. He still, hey, here's your chance. If you always want to bet on Scotty Scheffler, here's your day. You can get him at a pretty good price here right now to win this tournament right now. He's a few shots back for sure here coming into the action on Friday. All right. I think that might be it right now. NFL signings, nothing too significant there. I think the big one probably was Kyler Murray. Like I said, Chargers did sign Keaton Mitchell from the Ravens. Miami signs Tutu Atwell from the Rams, and Bengals got Jonathan Allen. I think those were probably the big names there. The Redskins, the Commanders did get Rashad White off of Tampa Bay on that free agent signing. So also Chargers re-upped with Denzel Perryman. Okay, let's get to some of the action here, and I want to preview with you guys today. That's what I was going to say, that Mr. Weskers, but that wouldn't have been cool. You do it for me. I like guys who win. All right, let's go to the NBA tonight, where we'll start it off. Then we'll go into college basketball late semifinal games. So anywhere there's a semifinal that's in prime time, that's what we're looking at if you want to get started on knowing what games. The early games, we're just going to go with the late games here at Tony's Picks tonight. All right. Here we go, NBA action for Friday the 13th. Oh, my goodness. Um, what do you think we should do with it? I mean, do you think we should just take a pass here for Friday the 13th, or is it going to be a stroke of luck? Knicks and Pacers here for a Friday. Got the Pacers in the tankathon. And I don't know. Do we even need to handicap it here? The Knicks are coming in off of a win, but they're starting to feel it a little bit. The Knicks are going to need, they need these wins right now. Do the Knicks? They're trying to stay ahead of the Cavaliers here currently in third place. I don't think they're going to catch Boston here right now, although they are just 1.5 back of Boston. They're 1.5 games ahead of Cleveland in the number 3 slot right now. See what you got here, though. 11-point favorite here, of course, is going to be kind of a tankathon-looking game, if you ever asked me. New York just rocked Utah 134-117 2 nights ago on the road, so why couldn't they come in here and crush these guys as a big favorite? Indiana's lost every game they haven't covered in a month, it seems like right now. They're always getting the points. They're never coming close here. That's what's happening with the Indiana Pacers in the total tankathon here. The Knicks are just 15-20 against the spread on the road. The Pacers are actually 17-16 against the spread at home, but who cares? They don't care right now, and hey, if they don't care, neither do I. I'm going to have to take the New York Knicks here in the tankathon in this one, lay 11.5, whatever it is. The Pacers have dropped a gazillion in a row here at this point. Don't want to just brush it over like that. They've lost here 11 straight games at this point, and they haven't covered I don't think they've covered the spread in any of them either. Maybe they covered the spread in one. I think it was the first one, and I think they failed to cover the spread in the last 10 games here overall. Indiana's gone over in 8 of their last 10 because they can't stop anybody here, and the Knicks are 29-26 to the over as a favorite. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone over. New York is just 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 meetings between the two teams. Knicks have won 10 of their last 14 on the road, 13 of their last 20 overall, and they've covered 6 of their last 8. So, look, they just played back on about a month ago. It was 137-134. Indiana won at the Knicks. You guys are big on the revenge factor. So, Knicks did win back in December as a 3.5-point favorite. Didn't cover that one. The Pacers, like I said, have covered right here, I think, 4 straight, not just 4 or 5. So let's go to the chat, but I'm just taking the tankathon here with the Knicks. In this one, tankathon wasn't great there yet. There was a couple of tankathon games. I think it was one of my losses there yesterday. Let me look at the tankathon here from Thursday. Phoenix beat this Indiana team, of course. Indiana is on the back-to-back, and I thought that was still a tankathon, even though it was only 8.5. Orlando, they did not get it done. Don't think they're right yesterday in the tankathon game. They won by only 5 in overtime as a 14-point favorite. But let's see here. The Heat won in the tankathon. I think that was an official tankathon for me. Like I said, Bucks were still barely hanging on, but the Hawks did not win in the tankathon. They won by 11, favored by 15 there yesterday. And I think that was really it for the Lakers. The Lakers are official tankathon there. All right. See what you have in the chat here in this one. And let's see here. Luca for 50. All right. Here we go. I'm looking for the game here. Knicks and Pacers from the chat pros and see what you guys have right now. Sorry I missed some of those comments there. I could have gone longer, but we got to get to some of these games. You know me. Okay, looks like nothing here, really. Knicks last game. Here's Cal Dog with the over. There you go. We got somebody on it here. Mikal Bridges under here for Timmy Two Shoes. So, look, what do I have? Oh, the line is, oh, gosh. Pardon me. It's a 13.5 now. It might be getting a little bit too much. I think I'm already committed here, but it is 13.5. I typed these games in back when, probably about 3 or 4 hours ago during some of those late basketball games. 227, 13 and a half now. I'll lay it here. I got to lay it. I mean, I've already committed here, but got to be a little bit of a tax here. I think that's why it's my pick here on night moves. And I think you could see, look, if you look at some of those Tankathon games yesterday, it did kind of get right into that. Maybe it moved just enough there where it was too many points in the end. But right now the Pacers are not coming close. I guess if there's any team you're going to kind of want to go against there, it might be the Pacers here. All right. We got one more pick here. No. Okay, let's move on here right now. And got some live rugby action going on here right now with the Canberra and the Waratahs here, I think. The Rabbitohs going, and there's also some AFL coming up here in about an hour. I'll have a pick on the AFL tonight if you'd like. A game coming up here in a short while. But got a nice rugby league match going on here. It's end of the first half right now with New Zealand Warriors. It's the Warriors and the Raiders here at 6-6. Okay, next up. All right, we're in the Tankathon with the Grizzlies and the Pistons here. And like I said, we're getting up to where it's a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm not necessarily willing to go against them here in the Tankathon. Let's see what you got. Detroit's back on track here, it feels like, a little bit, with 2 straight wins and covers over Brooklyn, over Philadelphia. They were favored by double digits in both those games. Very similar spread. Now, Philadelphia's not in the Tankathon. They're going to the playoffs, but they were missing, top players. As far as the Grizzlies here, they're just in a dismal slump once again. Remember, there was a time there about a week or two ago that the Wizards were starting to cover some games, but all of a sudden they're not. In fact, they failed to cover in the last 3, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, and Dallas, and they failed to cover in any of those games right now. They're back in the Tankathon, it feels like here. Memphis is just 18-26 against the spread as an underdog. Detroit's had their own set of problems, but like I said, it feels like they're a little bit back on track right now, and I think it's just going to be another Tankathon game. I'd rather have Detroit here than Memphis. I will say, though, Memphis has defeated Detroit in 9 of the last 10 meetings between the two teams over the last 5 years, and Memphis has also covered 5 of the last 6 games. But the Grizzlies have lost 6 straight, and they didn't cover in the last 3. Memphis has gone over in 4 of their last 5. Detroit's won 13 of 19, but they're just 1-4 against the spread at home, 3-7 against the spread overall. Maybe this is the spot for Memphis. 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone under here. Let me know what you have. I'll go to the chat first because it's getting a little bit high right there, but like I said, I like being on the big end, if you know what I mean, of some of these Tankathon games. Hey, I love it when it gets up there, 124 to 105 or something like that. Memphis may have a way to put up some points here in this game. I think that might be the only way that they're going to be able to stay within. They're not necessarily an over team. They're just 14-19 to the over on the road, and the Pistons are definitely an under team, 27-37. But I think if it's going to the Tankathon and if the Pistons are going to win, you see 232 right there. So what's it going to be? It's going to be about 125 to 110. In this one, that'd be an over. That'd be 15 points. 127 to 110 might be the score for me. I'm going to take the Pistons here in the Tankathon. I'm going to look for it to go right about there, 127 to 110. That'd be a 17-point win. That would be an over as well. I think that, I'm going to give out the Pistons, but I might be looking at the over here in this one with the Pistons. What do you think, you guys? Pistons did win the other meeting in November, 114 to 106. They did cover at Memphis. So that one did go well under there in that one. And see what you got here with me in the chat. Thank you, everybody, here for Night Moves. And Cal Dog might be on the under here. Andrew says Pistons lay it. Timmy says Ramon. You're just ignoring the injury. I am ignoring the injury reports in the Tankathon games. My bad. We did know back in that other game, Pascal Siakam, questionable. It doesn't look great right now with his knee injury, especially when you don't need him. You don't want to get him hurt anymore. Why put him in there? But did kind of skip the injury report on the last game, and that was a significant injury. For the Grizzlies, Spencer, questionable, Pippen, questionable, Jerome, questionable, Gibson, questionable, Coward, questionable, Clayton, questionable, Aldama, questionable. You got 7 guys, all guys that, C minutes, all questionable here. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to play, but that's a lot of guys here. Detroit, Levert is questionable, and Astor Thompson's still out, but that's it. I mean, everybody on Memphis is out, so why wouldn't we take Detroit here? I'm taking Detroit. Detroit over their team total. Power Grizzlies and Power Critter says taking Grizz, and Pistons team total says 123, says Timmy Two Shoes. I guess I'm on the over there, huh, Timmy? Give me the Pistons in that one. All right, Suns and Raptors, NBA action here for a Friday night. And, we're not in the Tankathon in this one. The Raptors are at home. You're fighting hard here for the positioning, if you will, in the Eastern Conference. The Suns, meanwhile, kind of the same deal here. Does feel, we see all these teams with momentum. It does feel like these are 2 of the teams that maybe don't have as much momentum. I've still been riding the Suns here. I still like what I see, but I don't know if I like what I see on the road. And yeah, I know we've made fun of Toronto here a little bit, and they haven't played it well at home. They've actually played better on the road, but I don't know, against a Phoenix team that does come in here 4-game winning streak. I'm not saying it's a do factor for them to lose in this one. In fact, like I said, I feel like everyone's still shortchanging Phoenix a little bit. I think their record is proving to be, decent enough. I just think this going on the road here, they're not really a totally experienced team. They will have some injuries too. This one I think we do got to take a peek at. Grayson Allen questionable, Scotty Barnes questionable for Toronto. Mark Williams is out for Suns. Colin Murray Boyles still questionable here for the Raptors. Let's go through some of the trends here, and I'll get your play in this one between the Suns and the Raptors here in Toronto tonight. So yeah, we've talked about Toronto and their home record 14-19 against the spread at home. Meanwhile, Phoenix 20-11 against the spread on the road, 19-14 against the spread as a dog. This is Phoenix's role for sure, especially in this particular matchup, because Toronto does not do as well at home. But I don't know, the game is very important given the fact that Toronto has slipped here down to 7th place. Like I said, you do want to be in the top 6 here when it comes to the play, or the top 8 when it comes to the play-in, but they are 1 game behind the Heat for 6th place now. The Magic and the Heat went right by the Raptors, and the Raptors are 1.5 games ahead of the Hawks. For the Suns here right now, they are in 7th place. They're probably not going to finish any worse than 7th, but they can still chase down the Timberwolves, Nuggets, and Rockets or Lakers. It seems like they're not good enough really to maybe do that, and they'll just have to settle for 7th place. So what's my motivation? Maybe the Raptors have a little bit more motivation. They're finally, they're at home with somebody they can probably beat, even though Phoenix is the much hotter team right now. Raptors have lost back-to-back games to Houston and New Orleans. New Orleans actually played pretty well, even though they're Tankathon worthy. The only team that Toronto's really beat here of late was Dallas at home. Phoenix, meanwhile, with 4 straight wins over New Orleans, Charlotte, Milwaukee, and Indiana, covering 3 straight. So that's what they've been doing. Toronto, big-time under team as a favorite, 12-25 to the under, and Phoenix is 28-37 to the under this season, and I don't mind that right now. You see, every time we see the low, right, we think of all these points, all these high scores, and then the 218 comes up, and you're like, well, there's an under. that one will go under. Although let's see here, this is the first meeting between these two teams, so these two teams will see each other again here right now. So, all right, let's see what you got though in this one. I do like this total. I think it's going to be tough for Phoenix, but let's see what you got here in this one. All right, Raptors money line for Cal Dog. And Mr. Westbrook says, it doesn't matter. Raptors will just lose in the first round anyways. Take the Suns. Timmy likes the Suns. Look, I don't mind if you guys are on the Suns because, I mean, the stats would say take the Suns, right? The situation. The Suns get it done on the road, and the Pistons don't. It just feels like if you're going to tell me that like I said, I'm still hanging with the Suns a little bit, but kind of my counterparts have kind of been saying they're done. They topped out a little bit. Now they're going to go downhill. Well, I've been taking them still a little bit. And Jermaine on the over here. Jermaine says Suns last three back-to-back 3-1. ATS on the road in the back-to-back. Yeah, it was a good win there yesterday over a weak Indiana team and in the Tankathon, and having to go to Toronto. This would normally be the travel spot where everybody'd say, well, here you go. You got to go into Toronto. But it just hasn't been the case with Toronto this year. It has not been a difficult place to play, I think is the safe thing to say. So I'll go under here in this one with the Suns and the Raptors in this one here tonight. Give me the under with these two. Toronto has gone under in 5 straight games, and they've also gone under in 6 of their last 9 with Phoenix. Toronto's lost 4 of their last 5, gone 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. Phoenix is 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. They've won 6 of 7, covered 5 of those games, although they're just 2-6 ATS against Toronto in the last 7 games. All right, and that's a pretty good one here. Let's move on to a game in the Tankathon with the Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Dallas Mavericks here. The Mavericks finally got a win last time out and beat Memphis yesterday on the road. Good win. Memphis was the favorite in that game, so I'd say they exceeded expectations for sure with the win there last night on the road over the Memphis Grizzlies there. So Dallas here on the back-to-back. Cleveland comes in here rested. They did lose to Orlando last time out. They've lost 2 of their last 3 to Boston and Orlando. They did beat Philly in there, but they did not cover. These two teams have not yet met this season, so we'll see these teams meet up a couple of times here towards the end of the year. You see the total here. It's actually 236.5. This one probably is going to go. It may go even higher. I mean, this is going to be. I'm pretty sure this one's going to be a pretty high-scoring game. Whether or not it's too high here, I want to update my sheet anyway at 236.5 here, but I think that's the way this game is going to go, actually. Cleveland is 19-13 to the over on the road. Now, Dallas is an under team here this season. That's, not debatable. But I think in this matchup with the Tankathon here, now, look, I've already said that Cleveland here with Harden is going to slow it down here, but I just feel like this particular matchup and the way Dallas is going right now, I don't think it's going to be. Cleveland owns these guys. They've won 6 straight against them, 4-2 ATS, though. Cleveland's won 14 of their last 20. They've gone under in 4 of their last 5, although they did allow 128 points just a short last game to Orlando. Dallas scored 120 last night for their first win in 9 games. They've lost 8 straight at home right here. They're 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 games overall coming in. So see what you have in this one with Cleveland taking on Dallas in the Tankathon here in this one. And I'm probably willing to lay it right now at 12. It's 13 though. We get the updater out. 13 and 236.5 here I'll go to the chat here. Maybe that's the best thing to do. Remember, Cleveland's been a dismal cover this year. 18 and 34 against the spread as a favorite, just 3 and 7 against the spread in their last 10 games overall here. But oh man, I think Cleveland's going to rock them. Here we go. Mr. Weskers can't lay it with the Cavs. Jermaine here has got a prop. And Timmy's probably going to take Dallas here to get it done. Look, they finally got a win. They weren't really covering many. They did cover a game against Orlando, but again, it's been a pretty bad record overall for Dallas here of late. Dallas has gone under in 8 straight games coming in. Cleveland's gone under in 4 of their last 5, but this one's kind of gone through the roof. The send out on this game was 231. And you have a Dallas team that is just a total under team right now, 19 and 26 to the under as a dog, and 2 and 8. What did I say? 2 and 8 in their last 10 here. All right, let me see here. Where did we go? There we go. All right, now I'm going to the Tankathon. I'm going to take the Cavs to rock here. You guys might be right. I can't get off these big favorites at this time of year. So, look, Dallas did come in with a good game there against Memphis on the road last night. They're on the back-to-back, and Cleveland is not. I'm going to take Cleveland minus 13. Next up, the New Orleans Pelicans are on the road here, coming in with a couple of wins. They're taking on the Houston Rockets. Houston comes in here as a favorite by 7, and the total 226.5 here right now. And let's call it 228.5. So pretty big move here to the over in this one. Doesn't seem out of the question either. So let's take a look at this matchup between New Orleans and Houston here. Like I said, New Orleans with back-to-back wins coming in, wins over Toronto and Washington. Not terribly difficult, but they've still covered 4 straight games, including a cover against Phoenix in a game they lost. They also beat Sacramento. So New Orleans is beating subpar teams. Houston, meanwhile, comes in off that blowout loss at Houston. They do have wins over mediocre teams that are worse than them anyway. Toronto and Portland here. They did get blown out by Seattle. They also lost recently to Golden State. New Orleans is 37 and 29 against the spread overall, but just 27 and 26 ATS as an underdog. For Houston here, bad, good record, bad spread record, 29 and 36 ATS overall, 12 and 18 ATS at home, 24 and 33 ATS as a favorite. So we'll see what you have here in this one with New Orleans taking on Houston here tonight in the Tankathon or not. Houston favored by only 7. It's only because New Orleans has shown signs of life here, but also Şengün, he is questionable in this game. DFS is questionable here, but I know New Orleans has been playing decent here, but they don't have a chance to get back in it. I mean, they're what are they going to do? Win every single game right now? They are 10 games out, so they can't continue this. I mean, look, they had a little resurgence here. I'm putting this one probably in the Tankathon category. I know they all seem like that, and I just can't get enough of saying it. But come on, is New Orleans really? If you like them, you like them. I don't mind. I mean, they're obviously showing a little bit of heart here, but there was a time before this little streak when they looked like, and again, maybe it had to do with, with the Zion coming back here and playing right now. He loves to play when the games don't matter. This one's going to be a high-scoring game for sure. Let me go ahead and I'm going to take the over in this one. Maybe there's something to it. I mean, they're only favored by 7. They should if uh, the tankathon rules, I mean, they should probably be favored by 10 or more. So maybe the Pelicans are going to be, maybe the lines makers, maybe the Sharps know what they're doing. I would think that the Rockets can uh, get the number here. Give me the over here in this one at 228.5. I'll take the over this time. The Rockets are 10-20 to the under at home, so I don't think I could sell you on the trends with this matchup. But um, if I'm in the tankathon, I think the Rockets are going to win and cover here very eventually. I'll just take the over here. 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone over. New Orleans has gone over in 8 of their last 12 games overall. Houston's gone under in 13 of their last 16 games at home. We mentioned their strong under trends here, but Pelicans have covered 8 of their last 10. I think they're actually 7-2-1 in their last 10. New Orleans 2-4 ATS their last 6 against Houston, and they've covered. Oh no, they've covered 8 of 10. They've covered 8 of 10. Won 7 of 10. Let's go to the chat here and see what you have to say in this one. And let's go to it. Mr. Westwood says, what about Jamal Murray for MVP, right? I think I'd go with SGA. Cavs team total over here for Jermaine. Cal Dogs on the under. Jimmy says, lay it. Cleveland the first half. Jimmy says, lay it with Cleveland. First half. When you, that's the same. Jimmy, you should say it's so good he said it twice. Cal Dogs on the over. And look at this. Timmy says already up to 229.5 right now. Get on it early here. I will. Let's get on it right now. I'm taking the over. Okay. Jimmy says, what about those unders with the Rockets? Yeah, you're going to have to contend with that for sure. The two teams did go under in a meeting back in January, 119 to 110, but in December it was 133 to 128 in New Orleans in an easy over. And the first meeting of the season also went over. So Rockets, they do have one of the best under records at home in the NBA with a 10-20 record to the under. I'll take the over though in this one because I think it's going to be in the tankathon. I really do. Okay, next up, we've got the Timberwolves taking on the Warriors here in this one. The Timberwolves are favored by 6.5 on the road. This is no tankathon game. Both teams here are jostling for position in the postseason. The Warriors are hanging on here. I mean, they're going to make it. They're going to be in, but they're going to play the 9-10 game probably against the Trailblazers there. And for the Timberwolves here, currently in 6th place. So how good were they playing? Everybody talked about, oh, look at this Wolves team. They're so inconsistent, though. They just lost 3 in a row right now with losses to the Clippers, Lakers, and Orlando. And they're not covering really at all. They're 20-33 against the spread as a favorite, 2-8 against the spread their last 10 games overall. Talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've won 8 of 12. They have defeated Golden State. They've covered the spread anyway in 4 of their last 5 games overall. The Warriors are just 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 games at home. They've lost 5 of 6. We did get the news. Curry, he's out for 5 more games minimum. I think they said 10 more days. So probably 5 games here more for Curry. Out at the wrong time. The Warriors are coming in off of 3 straight losses here to Oklahoma City, Utah, and Chicago. They're 29-36 ATS, so they're not looking great. And the Timberwolves, they're having problems, but they should be much the best here in this game because of the Warriors' problems here. Let's see what you have in the chat. Maybe there is a solution. All right, to Mr. Westcott, Draymond for a T. Maybe Steve Kerr is going to come in and shoot. Ant-Man over at his point total here for Timmy. Mr. Wesker says, "Look, they're going to make it." There's a thing, right, Mr. Wesker? I think you're on to something here. They're not going to blow it here. They're not going to fall all the way back. I mean, I don't think they're going to go on any 10-game or 12-game losing streak. In order to fall out of the postseason, they'd have to, they're 9 games ahead of 11th place Grizzlies. Yeah, they could fall to the Blazers and fall into the 10th position and have to go play Portland on the road, right? But doesn't matter. With the Warriors, it's already kind of a mediocre season. You just got to get in. So you're going to need Curry if you're going to do anything in the postseason. So I think you're onto something there. Tim says take the Wolves. And Mr. Westwood says that don't do good with Frenchie. All right, I guess going to make my call here in this one with Minnesota and Golden State here. And I think the line actually is, let me make sure this, it might actually be only 5.5 here right now. 5.5 and 225.5. So you can see where this one is moving. This one's moving to the dog and the under. That's not what you're seeing here on a lot of these games right now, but maybe that's what's going to happen here. I think the move might be pretty okay, at least. At least when I think the move might be right on here. Can the Warriors hang here and just with these points? Got to be getting used to without Curry right now, but let's see here. Quentin Post is questionable. Anthony Melton questionable. Moses Moody's out. Seth Curry is in for Minnesota. Dosunmu, he is questionable here in this one. All right, I'll make my call here with the Timberwolves and the Warriors, and I'm going to take the Golden State Warriors plus the points in this one. Give me Golden State in this one. All right, let's see who else. And Mr. Westers might be with me here. Jermaine says take Ant Edwards in a parlay. And hello to Old Gaffer. Couple more here in the NBA for a Friday night. It's going to be the Jazz taking on the Trailblazers here in the Tankathon. Got Portland here, pretty big favorite right now, favored by 14. They probably should rock these guys in the Tankathon, but both teams are alternating wins and losses here of late. Portland does come in off of a loss, 103-101. That versus Charlotte at home. They did cover, actually. We were on Portland in that one. They got the money. They also beat Indiana at home here, 131-111 in a similar type of scenario, favored by only 9.5 in that one. Got to lay some extra gas here, 14. And the total here is 237. This one's been on the rise. And why not? You got Portland here, 20-7 to the over as a favorite. Utah, 34-24 to the over as an underdog. Now they are 14-17 to the under on the road, but with Portland 21-12 to the over at home, and Utah 38-27 to the over overall. Yeah, they may have bigger scores at home, but I think when you're playing a team like Portland, and well, looks like you might get blown out of this one. This might be a Tankathon special here with these two. It might be a game where you're going to see it 130-110 or even higher. It'll be 130-1. Yeah, maybe right in there, 132, 117, 132, 116, something I think there where the Blazers get the Tankathon cover and it goes over here. Let's see what you think. I'll go to the chat pros here in this one to see what you have. But it does seem like two teams that like to go over. They just played here back in February. It's 135-119, way over as Portland won and covered at home. They also won and covered in Utah. That was in Utah. They also won and covered at home at Portland, 137-117 back in January. That's the one I'm talking about. Let's see what you have here in this one. But, man, this one's on the move. I think it's going over. Let's go to the chat here. Mr. West says the Jazz, they kind of get up for no reason sometimes. He'll take them here. And Johnny Walker's here. Hello to Johnny. Here's Johnny. And I will take the over in this one between the Jazz and the Trailblazers. All right, we got one more here on the NBA slate. Then we're going to get some college basketball with some great games. All right, watching Formula One practice here, and George Russell won last week. He's got the pole here in Shanghai. All right, George. So Russell gets the pole here at the Chinese Grand Prix. Lando Norris was kind of, maybe, I don't know if he was favored to get the pole away from George, but there's been a lot of criticism with these new cars right now, and we'll see what happens. NASCAR is here in town this week in Vegas for the Las Vegas 400, and IndyCar down in Arlington. All right, Bulls and Clippers here in this one. Got the Clippers coming in just one game over 500, but it feels like they're 20 games over 500 the way things are going. For the Bulls here, they've been alternating wins and losses. They are coming in off of a loss to the Lakers last night, 142 to 130. They were probably never headed in that game. We were on the Lakers there, kind of a tankathon game is the way I was describing it yesterday anyway. So the Lakers were able to get that one. They led 67-62 at halftime. And LeBron did have a basket there early on to kind of get him going. Really, I think only had one basket in the first half, but Lakers going to come back and play here on Friday, I do believe. But for this one, with the Clippers and the Bulls here, checking the injury report, we got the Clippers here favored by, oh man, they're 12.5 now. What do we have on screen here? 11.5. You can see all these moves on these favorites, huh? Oh, man, and you got the Clippers in the tankathon. Now, maybe the Bulls, after, getting beaten, Clippers covering against them there yesterday, maybe they'll play better today. Maybe they'll play harder. I don't know if they will. I would think the Clippers might be able to drub them here. Back-to-back games. They looked terrible last night. The Bulls are in the tankathon here. The Bulls have won 2 of their last 4 games. They've covered 3 of their last 5. So they have shown a little bit of heart here of late. And let's see how you've got it here. The total's high, but like I said, once they got rid of Harden, now all of a sudden the Clippers are a high-scoring team. Hello to Shaq in the chat. He says it's 12.5 out there right now. What are you going to do? What am I going to do with this one with the Clippers and the Bulls? All right, for the Bulls here, they've lost 14 of their last 17. They've covered just 5 of their last 12 overall. They're 5-14 straight up against the Clippers in the last 19 meetings. Clippers have won 6 of 7, covered 7 of 8. So I've got the Clippers here in the tankathon. I think the Clippers rock. I'm going to take them minus 12 space 0.5. Let me fix that, but I'm going to take them here and lay it. Lay the extra point there with 12.5. I'll take another tankathon. So I think we got 4 or 5 tankathons, and I'm all in on all of them. Not all in, but okay, that's it for the NBA. If you guys have any comments on that last game, let me know, because otherwise we're going to move to some great college action here with primetime games tonight. Ben Matterin with the prop here. All right, let's go to college basketball action here now for a Friday night. I'm looking at prime time semifinal games, the late games here, and all the semifinals. So let's start it off. and go to the Mid-American Conference, where controversy reigns supreme right now following Miami of Ohio's loss. So how is it going to fare now? You've got Akron here, the second best team anyway, laying it here against Kent State. Akron comes in here minus 6.5 here in this one, and Kent comes in here with a 3-game winning streak. They're 23-8. Nothing wrong with these guys. Akron's 26-5. So these two teams might be the best two teams in the Mid-American Conference, if you know what I mean. Kent State comes in here with a 3-7 record ATS in their last 10 games overall. They're also 1-3 ATS as an underdog in their last 4 results. This one's at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time here in this one. Kent is an underdog just for the fifth time this season. They're 1-3 ATS in the dog roll. For Akron here, 15-3 ATS is a favorite. 16-3 ATS overall. Akron's on a long winning streak here, although they did fail against Buffalo yesterday. They let Buffalo come all the way back, and Buffalo covered the spread. Akron was favored by 12.5. They led by 13 at halftime, but Buffalo outscored them 41-31 in the second half to get the money. So let's see what you have here in this one. I think I'm probably going to go to the total. I mean, you have Kent here. They are 1-3 to the under as a dog, 5-8 to the under on the road. Akron's a big time over at home, but not necessarily overall. They're just 14-15 to the under overall. So away from home, they're actually 2-11 to the under. So I'm going to have to take the under in this one with Kent and Akron. They did go under in their last meeting, although it was a high-scoring game, just like this one, 162. And the game at Akron that also went under, it went way under. It was 165.5 in that one, and it went under. It was 121 points. So I'm going under here in this one with Kent and Akron as my play here on Night Moves. Go to the chat, see what you guys have here. Cal Dog is on Akron. Mr. Westers is on Akron. And Mr. Westers says Akron will show you how to win, not blow it. And under for Timmy Two Shoe. Next up, well, sometimes you forget about Easy Ed Cooley, and you're like, well, it's just, what did he do? What team is he with? How did that team do this year? They did pretty good, Georgetown, right? Considering, he's had to build this team back up. He's actually he's already tasted a little bit of success here at Connecticut, but here he is. All of a sudden, look out! He's in a semifinal against Danny Hurley. And yeah, Georgetown's the 11th seed. They're 15-7. They feel as live as ever in this spot. Not going to slight Connecticut. They're a big old favorite here for sure by 13.5. But do you really want to fade Easy Ed Cooley and go with Danny Hurley? I don't know if I do. Georgetown's 9-5 against the spread. 10-9 against the spread as an underdog. Connecticut, a terrible favorite, 9-17 ATS as a favorite, 10-21 ATS overall. Georgetown is actually just 13-19 ATS overall here, but you probably just want to take the Georgetown Hoyas here because you figure Coach Hurley's Coach Cooley is going to be able to do whatever he wants with this coaching matchup, be dominating Danny Hurley. Georgetown's lost 7 of their last 10, but they've covered 7 out of the last 9 games against Connecticut. Georgetown has lost a long losing streak here against Connecticut right now. Haven't won over them in about 6 or 7 years. Connecticut's 5-13 against the spread overall. They've gone over in 10 of their last 13, having won 17 of their last 20 games overall coming in. 8 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams have gone over. I don't know which ways this one's going to go over under-wise. I just want to take Georgetown. I think Ed Cooley finds a way. That's what happens. Just when you slept on him and you forgot all about him, here he comes with Georgetown, and now he gets a chance to go up against Bobby Hurley after he just knocked off Villanova as a 7-point dog. Before that, they beat DePaul the night before, another one where you should have just been on Georgetown. Why would you go against Easy Ed Cooley in a matchup with DePaul? So it does feel like Georgetown to me is the hotter unit. Connecticut just beat Xavier, though. They got the money there, 93-68, a 17.5-point favorite. They crushed, no doubt about it. They did lose to Marquette before that. Wins over Seton Hall, St. John's, and this Villanova squad. So give me the Georgetown Hoyas in this one. Give me the points here with Easy Ed Cooley and the Hoyas to cover. Here we go with, and Mr. Westwood says they'll take care of business here. And Timmy says, look at the Kent total there, Ramon. Jeez, it was 168.5 all the way down to 163. I know, we didn't get on that in time, but I gotta think it goes under. Mr. Westwood says Ed Cooley can't shoot the ball. Yes, he can. Ed Cooley does what he wants. He can do all of that. He gets the most of his players, and they reflect him very, very much. He is not overrated. Plant-based is here. Timmy says you can just play UConn, but he didn't do it. Cal Dog's on the over. All right, I'm on Georgetown. Okay, let's go to we're doing them all here, okay? All late semifinals. We're going out to the SWAC and MEAC here. Southern taking on Florida A&M. We're checking in on these guys here. The other matchup is Prairie View A&M and Alabama A&M. FAMU is on a roll here, a winning streak, currently playing terrific. Florida's won and covered 5 straight games coming in. Southern's won 8 of 11. They've also won 10 of the last 12 against Florida A&M. Florida A&M's gone under in 11 of their last 16, but Southern's gone over in 5 of their last 6 games overall coming into this one. Virtually a toss-up here after Alabama A&M did get that unlikely win, stopping their 25-game losing streak to Texas Southern in the last game. I don't know if it's reason for celebration. These guys weren't around for all those games, so just move on. You grab your win and move on, it feels like right now. Southern comes in here with a record of 15-16, but they are the number 3 seed. FAMU goes to the number 2 seed, and they are, like I said, pretty hot here with consecutive wins over Alcorn, Southern, Grambling, Bethune-Cookman, and Jackson State. They played Southern back on February 26th. It was 82-71 there in that one. Southern got the win at home. FAMU got the win at home, and they did cover in that one as a 6.5-point dog. They also won at home 87-59 as a 4.5-point dog. So this has been a good matchup for FAMU, Florida A&M here this season. Southern comes in with 3 straight wins over Alcorn, Alabama A&M, and Pine Bluff. But Florida A&M's winning and covering everything right now. So, hey, it ends up a good matchup here in the SWAC. Southern is just 5-11 against the spread as a favorite straight up, as a favorite against the spread, 9-7 straight up. FAMU is 11-7 against the spread as an underdog here. So FAMU is coming in with a much better streak. This game's in Atlanta. I'm going to take Alabama A&M here to get this one done. Give me Alabama A&M here in the SWAC semifinal. Okay. And let's see. What's the total, by the way? Is it 145 or is it 142? Hold on here. Now all my, here we go. It is currently at one, well, 144.5. 144.5, 145. Call it 145 here in this one. It never moved too much here. Okay, give me Florida A&M in this one. Okay, might have some plays in the chat here right now with Southern on the money line. People like FAMU, says Timmy Two Shoes. People are on the over, but the total's moving down. He'll take the points with FAMU. Me too. Let's go to the other game here in the MEAC with Delaware State taking on North Carolina Central. North Carolina Central favored here by 4.5. North Carolina Central comes in just 12-17, but Delaware State is just 8-22. As we've got surprising teams right now here in the MEAC. North Carolina Central is the number 3 seed. They're not a surprise, but Delaware State is, after Delaware State beat Morgan 75-70 on the road here, or let's see, I'm sorry, here in Norfolk in the quarterfinals. For Central, they come in off of a win over Eastern Shore, 83-76. They got the money in that one, but both teams are kind of struggling ATS here. Delaware State is 9-17 against the spread overall. North Carolina Central just 3-6 against the spread in their last 10, 3-6-1. But they are a 50-50 proposition overall here. So North Carolina Central, 4.5 point favorite. I might look to the total though, actually, with these two. For Delaware State here, let me see. It's gone from 135 to 133, I believe here. I'm sorry, 132 to 133 here. So it has moved higher here right now. Definitely a solid move to the over. I kind of want to take the over, actually. North Carolina Central is 5-3 to the over as a favorite. Now, Delaware State's an under team. They're 8-18 to the under, 7-14 to the under as an underdog. But I'm going to go over 133 with Delaware State and NC Central. That's going to be my move here on Night Moves. Okay, that's about it for you guys in that one. I'll keep it moving here right now. We've got several more here to go. And we'll go to Clemson taking on Duke in this one. Look at Duke here, double-digit favorite against Clemson. Clemson got the win there as a pick-em against North Carolina last night. Duke comes in here 29-2. Clemson's still 23-9. Remember when they were close to first place, close to catching Duke? And now look at them way back here. Duke comes in here pretty strong here right now, although they've just covered 5 of their last 10 games overall coming into this one. For Duke here, they've won 9 straight, 5-2 against the spread their last 7 games overall. For Clemson, they're 4-1 straight up, but 2-5 against the spread in their last 7. Clemson's gone 4-1-1 against the spread in their last 7 games against the Duke Blue Devils, their last 6 games. Clemson's lost 15 of their last 20 to Duke. Duke's gone under in 9 of their last 13 games overall in this one. Is this one really going to go under at 133? Duke's playing a lot of unders, aren't they? 10-21 to the under this season, 8-17 to the under as a favorite. Feels like it could be another low-scoring game for the Blue Devils. They've gone under in 5 of their last 7 against Clemson, including the last one here back in March. Let me see here. I'm sorry, February of last month, February 14th of last month, 67-64. Duke got the win there in that one, but they did not cover as a 6-point favorite on Valentine's Day. But will they right that ship here today? And all they got to do is win, but will they cover a big number? Go to the chat All-Stars here and see what you have to say in this one. All right, Mr. Westwood says you got to fade Clemson sometimes. That's a good thing to do. But could he rely on an upset here with Clemson in this one after what we saw there yesterday? Duke, uh, maybe playing their food, playing with their food, playing down to their competition or something like that. Because just does seem like they have a mediocre time against these teams they're expected to win by. They still end up winning, and in a lot of cases, still covering. But not in the last two games. They failed to cover against UNC and failed to cover against FSU. Same thing with Clemson. They failed against UNC last time out. So let's see what you got here. Cal Dog likes the over in this one between Clemson and Duke. Boy, I like that. That might be my play here, actually. I like the side, but I think I might like the total better here in this one. The other game is Miami, Florida, and Virginia. It's 7 Eastern and 4 Pacific time here. So I'll make my call here with Clemson and Duke here tonight. I'm going over. I agree with Cal Dog. Give me the over here in this one with Clemson and Duke. Okay, Timmy says, oh man, the Warriors are crushing the Raiders here now. UCLA is going to have to go buy some, I don't know what that says. Kansas and Houston here in this one. Look at this one. Geez, 134.5. They're not really going to score that many points, are they, Kansas and Houston? Are they going to hike the ball every day? Not that Kansas is a football school. We know that. But the way these two, I think these are dead solid unders here right now. Houston has won 4 straight games. Houston is 3-7 to the under in their last 10, 10-15 to the under as a favorite. Kansas 10-21 to the under overall, 4-7 to the under as a favorite. This one feels just like you got to go under no matter what. I don't think you can get me off the under in this game. Just feels like the much safer bet to me right now. Houston is 3-6-1 against the spread. Their last 10 games coming in, but they are 10-8 against the spread. 5-7 away from the spread, away from home. Kansas 19-12 against the spread coming into this season. Houston is 1-8 against the spread in their last 9 overall, despite the fact they've won 16 of their last 20. Kansas has won 12 of their last 16, but they've gone 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 games. 11 of the last 16 Kansas games have gone under. Kansas covered 11 of 16. I've got the under here in this one. It feels like a premium, but I'm just not sure about the side just yet. I have a strong opinion, but I'm going to take the under, and I think that's my premium. Let's go to the chat here with you guys in this one. Kansas 10-21 to the under this season. 4-10 to the under away from home. These two teams did meet back in February. It was 69-58. That would have stayed under this number a little bit. Back in the last year, they played both games. Were definitely relatively under. Okay, let's see here. Can't lay points with Houston, says Mr. Weskers. Timmy says Kansas and whatever points for the first half. All right, I'll take the total here in this one, and I'm going to go under Kansas and Houston. All right. Let's go to the Western Athletic Conference here with Utah Tech and Cal Baptist. Hey, make sure you're joining us every day on the new drive-through here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. Today I was on the drive-through, and I predicted that ACU and Utah Tech would be an over, and it certainly went over here. I think it went to 151 or something. It was 142. So make sure you're driving, taking a chance with us on the drive-through, taking a glance with us on the drive-through every day here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Have more winners for you, and I'll have one today. It's a Monday through Friday show, by the way. All right, here we go with Utah Tech taking on Cal Baptist in this one. Cal Baptist favored by 5.5, I believe now. I believe this one's gone down. Cal Baptist here is indeed a 5.5 point favorite. Total is up to 135.5 here. But the move is on Utah Tech here a little bit. All right, here we go with this one. All right, for the Trailblazers here, they come in off of a win last time out over ACU there last night by the score of 80-74. They were 1.5 point favorites for Cal Baptist. They've won and covered 4 straight. Tournament win here over Southern Utah, 82-75 last time out. What do you see in this one, gang, with Utah Tech going up against Cal Baptist here? Cal Baptist has won 13 of their last 15. They've covered 4 out of their last 5. Meanwhile, for Utah Tech, they are 1-4 straight up in their last 5 games against Cal Baptist. Total's gone over in 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams. Cal Baptist, Utah Tech has covered won 9 of their last 12, covered 10 of those games. I knew I'd get it right. So let's see what you have, though, here in this one. Does feel like Utah Tech playing pretty well, but Cal Baptist is right there, too. These two teams did meet back in February. Utah Tech won at 70-65 on the road. It's a 2.5-point dog. They also played back in January, and in that one, it was Cal Baptist getting the win, 73-64 as an 8.5-point favorite. Let's go to you guys in the chat here with this one. As Cal Baptist hosts Utah Tech here in a Western Athletic Conference tournament semifinal. The finals berth is on the line. All right, I'll get my pick here for you guys, and then we'll move on to the next one. But let me see here in the chat. Who do we got? We've got Cal Dog. He's on Cal Baptist. Of course he is. Come on. All right, and I think that might be, could that be it for the chat pros on this game? I know it's the WAC game here, the WAC-offs, if you will. But that was the first win for Utah Tech. Cal Baptist kind of owns the series, actually, here. So 6.5 points. So this is kind of a moment here, it feels like, for Utah Tech. But Cal Baptist has been the hotter team coming in. I guess I could say that confidently. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and lay it here with Cal Baptist. I'll lay the 5. What is it? We say it's 5.5 now? Yeah, 5.5 now. 5.5. We'll lay 5.5 with Cal Baptist. All right, let's go to the next one now. We'll keep it going here with Cal State Fullerton taking on Hawaii here in Henderson over here at the Lee's Family Forum. This thing's just 3 minutes away. I could go there tomorrow night and watch the Bows take them on. So, well, since UC San Diego's out now, I don't want to go over there. But you do have Fullerton coming into this one. They are 17-15. Hawaii's had a good year, but Fullerton's hot. Hawaii's coming in off of a loss, actually, last time out. So maybe they do have a little bit of travelitis. But for Fullerton here, they're 19-11 against the spread overall, 10-7 against the spread on the away from home, and 12-8 against the spread as a favorite. And they're as an underdog, and they're an underdog here to Hawaii. Hawaii is 11-17 against the spread overall, 10-14 against the spread as a favorite. But they are favored here for sure by 3.5, and the total 158. Is that right? It's 4. I think it's 4 right now for Hawaii. That total's still there at 158, though. These are under teams for sure. I mean, you got Hawaii here. Like I said, 12-16 to the under. First meeting was 87-85. Hawaii got the win at Fullerton. They did not cover as 3.5-point favorite. They also played in December. And it was Hawaii winning that one. 69-59. One and cover there. And Look, I'm probably just going to go with Hawaii here in this one, but let's see what you got. Oh, I want to say only 4 right now. Give Fullerton a lot of credit here for picking up these wins all of a sudden. They kind of came out of nowhere here. One of the true last Cinderellas of the tournament here right now. And Fullerton, good spread numbers. But feels like the prices. Let me go to the chat. Let me see. Oh, nobody has anything in this one. Okay. All right. Well, that move on Hawaii does seem legit, but Fullerton's the better cover team. There's no doubt about it. Hawaii's 11-17 against the spread, and Fullerton's 19-11 against the spread. But mostly it's Hawaii when they're at home. They usually get the money here. But now we're in Vegas here in this one between Hawaii and Fullerton. Okay, nothing from the chat here in this one. Guess I just got to make my call. All right. Yeah, so I think Fullerton's playing pretty well here right now. I know they've got the worst record here, but they're still the number 3 seed. I'm going to go with Fullerton here actually, +4. They're the better spread team. I think they can get it done here and at least cover the spread. Like I said, Hawaii does have some issues. 10-14 ATS since taking over here in UNLV for Hawaii. All right, and let's see what we got here. Cal State for the upset. Timmy likes the under. I guess I'm down to the final game here of the basketball action, and I got to go talk about my San Diego State Aztecs. They already just crushed my futures bet there on Colorado State, but that's okay. Like to see San Diego State do something here. It's going to be a good game here, but man, you got New Mexico coming in here with 2 guys that the Aztecs. The Aztecs go recruiting on a national level. That's just the way it is. They've got some talent in San Diego, but the talent on San Diego has ended up on the New Mexico side of the team here. Luke Haupt and Shot Fake Jake from San Diego leading New Mexico here. They might upset them here, I think, with those 2 guys. San Diego State likes to get a little NIL going. I think they're a big loser in NIL, actually, money. They think they're big time, so they're spending on some of these players, and it's kind of backfiring here a little bit. I'd rather have Luke Haupt and Shot Fake Jake on my team. So we'll see what happens. Usually this is a spot where San Diego State, when they need to kick it in gear at the conference tournament, can end up getting and winning the conference tournament. New Mexico has lost 2 of their last 3 games coming in, losses to Colorado State and Utah State. They did win here in the tournament against San Jose State. San Diego State, meanwhile, won over the Rams. They actually got the money yesterday over Colorado State. San Diego State comes in here right now, 14-6 overall in their last 20, 2-5 against the spread in their last 7. New Mexico State's covered. New Mexico has covered 4 of their last 7 meetings against the Aztecs. They've won 12 of their last 18 games overall coming in. San Diego State's gone over in 5 of their last 6. New Mexico's gone over in 6 of their last 7. I feel like it's going to be pointing to an over a little bit here, especially look at right now. San Diego State was a 1.5 point favorite in total, 149.5, but it's kind of gone up to 150.5 here. It feels like right now. New Mexico is 21-9 to the over this season, including 6-3 to the over on the road. San Diego State's not a tremendously overwhelming over team, but they might be able to get it. If you got my guys here lining it up for New Mexico right now, I think this one's got a chance to be an over game between the 2 teams. They just played in February. It was 81-76, so it went over this number in that one, and it went over in that game. As New Mexico won it 81-76, but San Diego State was able to, San Diego State, San Diego State was able to hang in that game, but New Mexico actually got the cover at home. They played back in January, and the Aztecs won 83-79 as a 5.5-point favorite. They didn't get the money. New Mexico did. New Mexico got the money in both of them here. So, boy, I'm going to just go with the over in this one. I'm scared here with my Aztecs. I don't want them to be knocked out of this game, but I'm afraid, man. I think Luke Haupt looked great last night, and I love Jake Hall there. I mean, he's great. Man, his passing there down the stretch tonight was so crisp. He penetrates, he dishes, he bounce passes it, lay it up. They look terrific there at the end of that game against San Jose State. Now, I was on San Jose State 2 nights ago, but New Mexico. Now, to be fair, New Mexico did not cover the game last night. They won by 16. They were favored by 16.5. So, you know what? But here they are, a slight underdog. It's basically a pick-em against this Aztecs club. All right, give me the over, I guess, but man, watch out, New Mexico. And if it does, I guarantee you it's going to be my guys doing it here for the Lobos right now. Shot fake Jake Hall averages 16.5 points per game. You got a guy like not only that, Buljan there as well. So look, San Diego State is more of a balanced attack for sure. Reese Dixon Waters is the leading scorer at 13.5 points a game. You got Bird here. Let me check Bird's status too, though. I think he had injury status there. It's okay. It's all good to go right now. Harrington is out for San Diego State. Patton Jr.'s out. That's an old injury. All right, because that's going to do it. I guess I'm taking the over in this one. Anything from the chat here this game? Lot from the chat. All right. Mr. West was likes the Aztecs here. Timmy Choo says he sees Hawaii under live bet in the game. Timmy Choo has New Mexico. Timmy said, how about the San Diego State money line, though? Cal Dog likes the over in this one. They told me it was, going to be, let me see here, Shaq is on, San Diego State. And, hey, Josh David Brown there. I'm watching. Well, you know what? The game's over. I better put on the Josh, I just played the where's Josh at? There he is. Yep, I just saw the New Zealand Canberra game here just ended, so I was going to go over to the Hawthorne game where I did give out a play already, so I think we missed the start of the game, but I did give out here just a short time ago Hawthorne and the or did I not give? Oh my God, did I not give out my bet? Oh no. Oh jeez. I like Hawthorne. I guess the line is okay. You still could get in. My bad, you guys. Hawthorne and I like Hawthorne here and the under in this one. Hawthorne minus 30.5 and under 186. I think the final score is going to be somewhere in the 106 to 73 range for Hawthorne here. They are winning right now 25-13, so you got to take it with a grain of salt because the game already started. But I was so into my college basketball, I forgot to tell you about my bet here in the Aussie Rules game. Or did I mention it? I'm trying to remember now. Okay, Kurt Dams is here. He's got San Diego State. Hello, Kurt. Kurt Adams. Kurt Dam. What am I, half asleep in here? All right, that's going to do it for the college basketball right now. And we got 2 games in the NHL, so the show's almost over. We got 2 games left here. NHL action on Friday night, and we'll talk. Oh, I've got to talk a World Baseball Classic before we go. I think Hawthorne just scored a goal. Oh no, it was all behind. He missed it. Josh David, it was a behind. Okay. All right, let me go to the hockey here. 2 games. And we're going to start off with the Kings taking on the Islanders here in this one. And got the Islanders here at home hosting these Kings. Islanders only $1.35. They might be up to $1.40 or so. Islanders have won 2 straight here right now with wins over St. Louis and San Jose. Those were tough games, man. They win over St. Louis was an overtime win, and the or a shootout, I think, and the win over San Jose was an overtime win. So they're not playing great, but they did get the win there last time out. Talking about the Islanders here. Let's see here. Yeah, Islanders about $1.35 right now. LA comes in off of a loss to Boston the other night, 2-1 on the road. There as the Kings end up losing to Boston also in overtime. Kings are still dynamite on the road, 16-8, but the Islanders are 17-10 at home, and the Kings are 9-16 as an underdog, and the Islanders are 11-11 as a favorite. It's not great, but it's not 9-18 either. So we'll see what you got here in this one, but I think it might be tough for the Kings actually. In this, we're back on the road. It seems like we were just here, right? They got the big long road trip. They get to go home for an extra little run, and then I'm going to send them out on the road here again and put them on a long road trip. So let's see what you have here. Maybe it should be a spot for the Kings actually, but I don't know if the price is good enough, and I don't know if I trust the Kings to get it done. These two teams met just a week or so ago. 5 days ago was 5-2. Kings did win at home in that one. So here we go to return the favor possibly here. Seems like a pretty good price for the Islanders, but Kings do play well on the road. Islanders, though, are one of the most profitable teams in the league this season. They're up 12 units, 4.5 units at home coming in. LA's hanging on for the playoffs. They're tied right now with Seattle for that number 4 for the let me get the wild card standings up here. Right now, the Kings are half percentage points away from Seattle. They're not in the playoffs right now. Seattle holds that number 2 wild card slot here currently for the Islanders. They're in right now, but they're right on the edge. They're tied with Pittsburgh for second place in the Metro, but you also have other teams right there like Columbus at 76 points. So Islanders hanging on here right now, doing well. I'm going to take the Isles here. I know I'm supposed to take the Kings. The Sharps are clearly going to take the Kings here, and I think it gives a little bit of a discount here on the Isles. So I'm going to take the Isles, actually. All right, and let's see what we got. Tim's on the Islanders. Cal Dog says Islanders are over. And look at Kurt says, man, the Islanders are 10-0 in overtime this season. I guess when you got the goaltender, right? Like Mr. Wester says, Sorokin's not going to give it up. Here's a goal right now for the Bombers. All right. Soundman is here, and he says you got to wait till the playoffs here. And Josh says, don't forget, they got the Roosters and the Rabbits. Is that the game? Is there another game coming up right now? Did I miss this? Or is that tomorrow night's game? Oh, yeah, that's coming up. Oh, okay. I see what. Hey, maybe I'm supposed to make a pick here right now. I think I got my ratings here. I probably could make a pick on the fly in this game. The game's about to start. Although it might be a little tough here on the fly, but you got the Roosters and the Rabbitohs. I knew the Rabbitohs were playing. That's what I said earlier, but let's see what I got here in this one. If I can, I don't want to, just be wrong here, but okay, let me see here. All right, Roosters and Rabbitohs. Coming up here right now here, and let's see. Oh man, the Rabbitohs are playing for me just a little bit better right now. I think the Rabbitohs. What's the line? Okay. Now we're having fun. Now we're gambling out here. Okay, we're gonna have some live betting here. Oh man, the Bombers here are hot all of a sudden. We better get a move on here. This game's about to start. All right. I might be having a technical problem right now at the wrong time. I want to give out my play at least here if I can't punch this bet in. Okay. All right. Yeah, I missed the deadline on it here. I missed the cutoff here anyway. So, all right, I'll just have to move on. Sorry, couldn't get the play off there to JD, but man, you'd think the Rabbitohs. I think I got it. I think I like the Rabbitohs and uh, probably the under. I'd say Rabbitohs and under. Okay. Let's go Kings. Anytime bet scores here. And Soundman says Islanders and over. He's on the Islanders with me. All right, one more game here. It's going to be the Oilers taking on the Blues. Oh my gosh. These poor Oilers right now, are they really? I mean, they better win this one, but man, they are just not getting it done here right now. There are, just issues time and time again here with the Oilers. I mean, just when you come back, they go off and have a couple of great games there. Those were great wins over BGK in Colorado. Then you give up the 7 goals, and you're back to your old ways here right now. St. Louis has already a victory over these guys this year at home, 3-2. Edmonton won 5-0 at home, so they actually went under. How about that? Which is really saying something, right? Because you figure the way the way it's going here. All right, let me see here. I want to look at the rugby game here if it's not up yet. Okay, it is 2.5. Okay, I'm gonna take the Rabbitohs here, plus 2.5 against the Roosters. I'm taking the Rabbitohs plus 2.5 against the Roosters here, and I'm also going to go under 51.5. Okay, Rabbitohs plus 2.5 over the Roosters and under 51.5 will be my play over there on the rugby league game, and it's just getting underway right now. Okay, that's going to do it for the show. I've got to make my pick here in this game. I'm sorry, I feel bad. Maybe I should just take the over right now with the way things are going and don't pick on the Oilers here. Because, hey, you know what? They could actually win the game 4-3. I mean, they're playing St. Louis. St. Louis is in last place. It's just that, man, it's just going crazy here, it feels like, for the Edmonton Oilers right now. St. Louis has won 5 of their last 6. Edmonton's beat St. Louis in 4 of the last 5. Edmonton's gone over in 7 of their last 9. St. Louis has gone over in 6 of their last 7 at home. Edmonton's gone over in 5 of their last 7 on the road, but St. Louis has gone under in 6 of their last 7 overall. But at home, they're going over, and the total's not 7.5 yet, so it might be worth taking it. It's only 6.5 flat. I know that sometimes there can be some issues, right, with the Blues scoring anyway. Let me go over in this one with Edmonton and St. Louis. You got 2 games. I mean, I don't care if I'm going on the square route here. I'm really willing to do it with 2 games here, I feel like. All right, here we go with Timmy says Hoffer will have the better statistical edge. You think? Let's see here also. Blues to give the Oilers the blues. And let's see here. Oh, don't forget World Base. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Good thing you said that. I would have. So last week I signed off before we are going to do one of those shows. Thank you, JD. Yep. Hopefully I punched those in. I just bet those right now. So, all right, Edmonton, St. Louis. Hey, Kurt. Thank you, Kurt. Both are traveling, both on a back-to-back. St. Louis somehow won at Carolina. Hey, don't say that. Didn't I have St. Louis last night? Don't say it like that. I know I was on St. Louis last night here. Yeah, well, we were on the puck line. So Okay. Okay. Right. Okay, Andrew. Let's do it. Hey, you know what? Andrew is actually making the banners here. I don't think I made any banners for the baseball game. So let me. Kurt, you gonna make one for the other game too? I'll do this game first because Kurt made the banner. All right. I didn't make a banner for the games. So let me talk about U.S. and Canada. Okay. Uh, it's tough, right? Because the U.S. does not look like a motivated team at all, enough to cover any. It's tough enough to win the game, despite the fact they've got a lineup stacked with elite Major League Baseball players, and Canada's pitching depth has always kind of struggled when they play high power real offenses. They usually lose by multiple runs. But this U.S. team shows no heart at all. They're trying to think of excuses. Half the team's already uh, going back. But to be fair, we did see some other um, international players also say that they'd be going back to spring training after the semifinal, I think it was. So, look, I think you're still supposed to go with the U.S., but you're really going to lay 4.5 runs here at juiced up at minus 125 against our good friends up there in Canada. I think you're supposed to do it. I think you're supposed to trust that they will get it together and go out there and smash. But again, this team is not showing it's we've got the manager doesn't know what's going on. Okay, these guys are just looking to win. They don't know what the run line is. Well, they might have in that first game, but they really should win by multiple runs. I think maybe over is the best play here. I mean, both teams have shown explosive scoring potential, I think, in the tournament. Even, yes, Canada has, right? And the bullpen usage could get aggressive here in this one if Canada's in the game at all. And that could push this game into double digits. I think I like the over here as my top. I guess I'll say that's my top play, and I'll take the United States minus 4.5. If they don't cover four, they really should win this game by 5 or more runs. They really should, but I don't want to bet on the inept attitude of a team. That's really a bet against it. You know what I mean? Taking Canada because hey, U.S. isn't showing any heart. They're not showing any life. Canada should get in there. Andrew says they don't even know the rules. Mr. Westford says Judge is always striking out. USA will find a way to win, Andrew, but will they cover 4.5? I mean, the line's 4.5 here. So you said take USA minus 1.5. But again, there are much larger favorites, right? Than that, isn't it? 4.5. I mean, I don't mind if you take 1.5. What's the line? Here we go. Let me look at it here. Thought I had it in my background automatically, but okay, here we go. United States minus 4.5 at minus 105. Total's now 10, so there you go. I think maybe I'd be equal there with and the U.S. I can't even get the U.S. minus 1.5 on my books here. Minus 3.5 is minus 165. So I'm going to go U.S. and I'm going to go with the over, and I'll say U.S. is. I'm going to say over is my stronger play here in this one. Kurt says no one's beating Japan. I don't know. I think the Dominican Republic's looking pretty good right now, and we'll see because they play Korea tomorrow, the DR, and they should smash them there. Let me preview that one. I'll preview that one next. Whereas I thought I saw the tag there. Here we go. Dominican Republic and South Korea. Yeah, I think Japan's just looked okay. I think Dominican Republic is looking with all that energy. I mean, some players have come out and said, like, here we are as fans, right? Oh, these guys don't even care. They want to go back to spring training. Some players are saying this is more important than the World Series. That's probably just the guys who never can win a World Series. If you're not a Dodger, you might as well win this. Right, Tone? Okay. USA will find a way to win here somehow, says Kurt. And there you go. Put Logan Webb in there, and gave up a home run on the first pitch of the game, didn't he? So, okay, let me see here. Hey, he's Roman Anthony. I'm Ramon Anthony. Mr. West says Canada can choke in a big game, can't they? Andrew loves the Dominican Republic. Kurt says we're used to 1.5, right? No doubt. We're 4. That's the thing in this tournament. You've had 8.5, 9.5. Here it's 4.5. Okay, let me go back to my logo there. Where's my Dominican Republic graphic? Here it is. Okay, I'm going to preview the Dominican Republic game here against South Korea. All right, in this one, look, Dominican Republic should smash. They're on fire. You got Vladdy. Remember, Vladdy wasn't even playing hardly, right? He missed that. He didn't play in that last game. Soto home run. Tatis home run. I thought he was walking to the dugout. This has been one of the most explosive offenses in World Baseball Classic history. And you're facing a Korea team that has a very thin pitching staff and with injury concerns as well. I think there's a strong chance this one's a blowout. I'm taking Dominican Republic big time in this one, late 4.5. For Korea, Hyunjin Ryu will be on the mound, the veteran lefty, and the Dominican power combined with Korea. They can scrap for some runs against this Dominican Republic pitching staff. I think Christopher Sanchez is going, which, could be a bit of an issue, but I think double digits are likely here, and I'll take the over. But I think Dominican Republic minus 4.5 is my best play of the night. They're going to keep crushing here right now, and I think they will crush Korea here, and I think it will go over 10.5, I believe it is here right now. It's 11, of course. So I'll take the DR and go over in the World Baseball Classic. Yep, no doubt they got Ohtani. That could do it, but Ohtani, I don't think he's throwing any pitches out there. Okay, that's going to do it here for Night Moves. Thank you, everybody. What a great show. You guys really made it good. Helped me get through it here tonight. And make sure you join me over at Tony'sPicks.com, where you can get our premium picks here every day over at Tony's Picks. Pick up the 3-pack with me, a 3-day pass with me, and go through Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we'll have a big winning weekend here right now. Thanks for joining me, everybody, on Night Moves. We'll be back tomorrow here with more Night Moves. We'll preview the tournament finals for Saturday and more. Here, probably have 20 hockey games, so make sure you're back with me here tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, to the chat pros in there. All right, I think we covered it all for the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Good night from Las Vegas.